Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Matt here from Chill TCG. Today we're looking at the top 16 decks from the Chill Series number 14 this past Wednesday. Our biggest Chill Series tournament of all time. The tournament's just been getting bigger and bigger every week, and I have you guys to thank for it. Very grateful. I'm very happy that we can get a large player base, and have this tournament every week for people to come and play and compete. So yeah, I mean, Chill Series 14, we had 258 players. Look at this craziness, man. Look at all these. Look at all these decks. Look at all these players. We're only looking at top 16 today, even though we did cut to top 32. It's just hard for me to go through and look at all top 32 decks, so we're going to keep it relatively short today. I wanted to just quick go over the metagame, just sort of the deck distribution before we get into it. In this tournament, I kind of tried to suggest people to not play ADP if they had any other options. Of course, it wasn't banned, and I wasn't going to be angry if people did play ADP, but I just wanted to see sort of if that suggestion changed anything to the meta, and it actually did quite a bit here. So as you can see, ADPization, so ADPization right here, only had 8.5% of the meta share. Typically, it's up to like 15, 20, or even more percent of the meta share. Still 22. It's obviously, our fifth most played deck in the tournament, but it dropped down significantly. It still went 53% win rate, so definitely not bad at all. Did better than the two most played decks, things like Pikarom and Eternatus, and did really better than everything that was above it. Yeah, so that was the meta share for Chill Series 14. As we can see, there was a wide variety of different decks that people played. I posted a video or at least a photo of this on the Twitter and everything for you guys to check out, and on the Discord. We had two Orbitals. I think one made top 32 actually. 58% win rate, guys. More people play Orbital. Anyway, okay. So yeah, it was a great tournament, and I was pleased to see not a whole lot of ADP. We did have a few make it into top 16, but we're gonna go ahead and just cover these decks right now. We're gonna get into it. At the number 16 spot is AngelrandaBar from Peru, went 7-3-1, and he was playing Pikarom. Now, we think we did have like 4 or 5 Pikaroms make cut, and all of them are going to be pretty similar. This one actually seems to have a heavy emphasis on sort of prioritizing getting this Boltund here. There's a few things that are actually a little bit different with this list, and I'm kind of curious to see, if this is a preferred way to play Pikarom. First things I want to notice is there's only one Mewtwo here. A lot of people are playing 2 Mewtwo, just to sort of give the deck a bit more consistency. He's only playing 1 Mewtwo, so that's a little bit different. But we also have 4 Boltund instead of 2 or 3. So, the Pokemon count looks a little bit different. He still has the Eldegoss, Pikarom, everything else in here is pretty standard. Not running the Vikavolt, not running the Tapu Koko V. Yeah, so 4 Boltund, 1 Mewtwo, so definitely a little bit interesting there. And then also, if we look at sort of our trainer cards, he's got 2 Yell Grunt on top of the 4 Hammers. I know a lot of people don't even play Yell Grunt, they just run the Hammers. He's running 2 Yell Grunt, but he's not playing any Energy Switch, which is very important to notice. And he's got the 3 Air Balloons, so heavy emphasis on the Boltund Air Balloon. No Energy Switch, which is interesting. He's got a 10-4 speed energy lineup, and 3 Electromagnetic Radars on top of 4 Quick Balls. So this seems like a very fast-paced Pikarom list. It seems like it really relies on going second, getting those Hammers, Yell Grunts, and getting that turn 1 Electrify going second. Interesting. I haven't done a whole lot of Pikarom playtesting myself. I know that Zach Lesage, fellow, obviously, fellow podcast host of the Yellhorn, he has a lot of experience with Pikarom, has a lot of success with Pikarom, and if you guys want to go check out his lists, then definitely go do it. But this is a little bit different of a Pikarom list, and I kind of like it. So, big shout out to Angel here. Big shout out to Angel for getting 16 in the tournament. Always places well. Angel does. Next up is David Hendrickson from the U.S. went 7-3-1, and he was playing Blacephalon. Let's see if this Blacephalon list has any surprises in it. Okay, so yeah, it's Crescephalon, I guess, is sort of that new way that people say it. He's got 4 Jirachis. He's got the 2-2 lineup, like he's got 2 Cramorants and 2 Blacephalon, which of course this is titled as a Blacephalon list, but as you can see, there's only 2 Blacephalon out of all of these different Pokemon. It's definitely a good attacker, but we've seen now that a lot of decks are not primarily focusing around Blacephalon as attackers. We have multiple Cramorants. In this deck, we also have Reshizard. And we see a Galarian Stunfisk V, which is also very interesting. Does work with, with Fire Energies. It takes colorless energies in its attack cost, although, those fire energies aren't going to boost his HP. It's still, a card that you could run in this deck, so that's a big surprise. I don't think I've ever seen Galarian Stunfisk V in a Cramorant list, so some people might hate on it, but I don't know, I kind of think it's cool. He's got the one Marshadow, get rid of those Chaotic Swells. He's got the Mewtwo, with Scoop Up Net to get those Welders back from the discard pile. No Eldegoss, but he does have, the Dedenes, Oricorios, Crobats. Plenty of draw support. One Zigzagoon as well in this list. So really, it's just like a kind of a firebox deck with an emphasis around Blacephalon. But there's really only there's only three types of primary attackers in this deck. 5 in total, with the 2 Crams, 2 Blounds, 1 Reshizard. He does have the Stunfisk. I'm not sure if he's mainly using that to attack, but I guess it can be really useful in some situations. So interesting list. I mean, got 15th out of 260 people, right? We see 4 Fire Crystals, 4 Hearths. We see 1 Pokegear in there, which is actually kind of interesting. And only 1 boss with 13 fire energy. So, let me know. Do you guys like this Blounds list? I like how people are kind of trying things new with these sort of, these well-established archetypes. For instance, like, Blounds has been kind of the same sort of deck for such a long time. It's nice to see people branching out and trying things that are new, right, with a well-established deck. So, big shout-out to David Hendrickson for getting 15th in the tournament with that cool Blounds list. Next up is LM. I have his real name. I don't know. It was up on the graphic that you guys saw at the beginning of the video. But at number 14, LM from Brazil. Brazil had a great outing in this tournament. 7-3-1. He was also playing Pikarom, so let's take a look at his Pikarom list. Okay, yep. So this is definitely more of a traditional Pikarom list. I think this might be the exact 60 of Zach Lesage's winning list. We see, he's got the 3 Boltons, the 2 Mewtwo's, does have Altagas, and he does have the Vikavolt thrown in there. So this seems to be more of the standard Pikarom list, and the one that's seen probably the more success. We don't see Yellgrunt, and we do see the 2 energy switches in here with 1 less speed energy in the 10 normal. This deck obviously has placed really well. It has had a lot of really good results. I'm not sure if this is exactly the same 60 as Zach's list, but it is very similar. And to me, Pikarom is the best deck in the format right now. And this seems to be the most well-accepted, or the most accepted version of Pikarom, at least sort of when it comes to specifics for deck lists. It's kind of up in the air. Vikavolt is entirely necessary. I know it can be useful a lot against things like Mad Party or even Blacephalon, but it stands to be sort of, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, right? But I think most Pikarom lists are going to look something just like this. This was the list that won the Players' Cup 2 and a few other big tournaments as well in the past month or so. So this seems to be like the most standard Pikarom list, probably the most common version that you'll see. Placed number 14th in the tournament, so definitely had a pretty good run. So big shout out to LM for sure. If you guys want to actually check out these deck lists, just come to the Limitless page. I'm not going to put them all in the description below, but yeah. Next up is Victor Rablero from Chile. He got 13th in the tournament, 7-2-2. This was our highest placing Centiskorch in the tournament. We actually had a Cinderace ranked above it, but we'll definitely check it out. So Cinderace, let's see what this Cinderace list looks like. Probably going to be an ability. Cinderace, yep. Okay, yeah. So I think this is, along the lines of what people are running these days for Centiskorch. He's got the 3-3 lineup. You got the Volcanions, you got the Jirachis as your start options. You do have the Crobats, Dedenes for draw support. People are running Zigzagoon in this deck now. Heatran, of course, is really good for sure. The Eldegoss, get the Welder and the Boss back. And then we see Giratina, which is really good to get rid of those, like those special coating energies or weakness guard energies a lot of times when you're playing these metal decks. So, very cool to see that in the list. You do have 4 Scoop Up Nets, so it doesn't, it turns out to be very good. And we have Fion, who, Thomas Brophy swears by Fion, says it's clutch. He also is the same guy that puts Birdkeeper in his list, but, I'm not the Centiskorch player. Thomas, great player. He knows what he's doing. Victor here, Victor's got, 4 Welders, 2 Boss. He does have a Malolana in this list, and I like playing Malolana in most VMAX decks. It just seems like, the format is more so turning into a 2-hit KO format, and a lot of times Malolana can make you live 3 hits, which definitely can be the difference. So I like the Malolana in this list. We see 4 Quick Ball, 4 Scoop Up Nets. Scoop Up Net, of course, goes well with not only the Giratina, but, Jirachi, Zigzagoon, and also just to get a nice switch out with Volcanion as well. So I like the Scoop Up Net. We got 4 switches, 3 Pokecoms, so plenty of Pokemon Search on top of the Quick Balls, 2 Fire Crystals, 1 Stamp, Great Catcher, and then 3 Hearths with 11 energies. Overall, I think this is sort of more so what people are playing for Centiskorch these days. It kind of helps with your matchup spread. and kind of, again, has evolved into more of a Firebox toolkit deck that's mainly just focused around Centiskorch. But again, Reshizard has seen a lot of play. It's sort of making a comeback. It stands to be proven whether that's a more effective list than Centiskorch, but we did have a Centiskorch here, plays pretty well in the tournament. So if you're looking to play Centiskorch, it's kind of up in the air what the best way to play the deck is, but I feel like this is probably the most well established version of Centiskorch at this point. Things might change in the future, but for right now, this looks to be very good. You might maybe you take out a Volcanion, put a Jirachi in there. It really depends. Volcanion is really good to start your game, start in the active spot if you are going second, turn one. But Jirachi, if you're going first, of course, is your best option. So, you got to be prepared for both. So yeah, I like this list a lot. I like it. Definitely really cool. Shout out to Victor, man. Our highest placing Centiskorch in the tournament at number 13. Next up, we have our first ADP on the list. We did have two of these make, top 16. So Sebastian L went 722. He is from the U.S. Let's take a look at his ADP list if you guys haven't seen ADP yet, which I'm sure you have. Yep. So very standard ADP, although we do see Vitality Band, which I like, and two great characters in here. So it's ADP Hammers. He's got the third water energy in there with two spinners. Smart man. Very consistent with all the hammers running around now. I think having three water energies in your deck is definitely very, very smart. We only see two Marnies with the 4/4 boss and research lineup. That's sort of what he prefers, I suppose. Not bad at all. We got two Cherish Balls and 4 Quick Balls. So overall, I like this deck. I think Vitality Man can actually be very clutch in this deck. Gets ADP up to 270 after the ADP boost. And, 270 is that magic number to one-hit KO Mewtwo, which is seeing a lot of play in Pikarom, which is, the best, most played list, right? So I think Vitality Band is a good call in this deck list. Air Balloon, of course, is really important, but a lot of times that Vitality Band comes in clutch. And I also personally think that Big Charm is good in ADP too, but right now Vitality Band might be a little bit more playable. He's got one Swell. I'm all over the place looking at this deck list, but I like this ADP list a lot. If you guys are looking to have an in-depth explanation of a successful ADP list, I did post a video on it. That one Chill Series 13, I think, maybe Chill Series 12. Not particularly sure, but we do have a separate deck list video on it that I posted about a week or two ago. So definitely go check that out if you're more interested in getting a detailed rundown of an ADP list. But for now, a big shout out to Sebastian, getting 12th in the tournament with ADP. So congrats to you, brother. Next up, we have Edwin, 1999. He is from Netherlands, and he was also playing Pikarom. So this was our third highest placing Pikarom in the tournament. Let's see if this is different than the last couple ones that we saw. Okay. So, yeah, this is the exact same 60 as the last one that we saw, except he took out the Vikavolt, and he has a Yell Grunt in here. Personally, when I play Pikarom, this is the exact same 60 that I run, except I actually take out an energy switch for a tag switch, but that's just preference. It's probably not the best call. I just like doing it. But yeah, this is I think more closely in line with what Zach Lesage's updated Pikarom list is these days. He did take out Vikavolt. I don't know if Vikavolt is entirely necessary. I think for a tournament like this, where ADP was sort of lowered and we saw more things like Mad Party and such, Vikavolt might have been a better call, but, again, you'll notice that all these Pikarom lists are very similar. The last two that we saw was running 2 Mewtwo. I think that is important. At least 3 Bolton, I think, is also important. I don't know if you do need 4, but, that's up to you guys for sure. I like the Yell Grunt as well. I think if you can get hammers, 1 or 2 hammers off in one turn, and you Yell Grunt, you're just in a very good spot. And it's very good against another Pikarom when you're playing the mirror matchup, right, which is all about having more energy on board. So I like this list. I like it a lot. And very close to what personally I would run for a Pikarom list. So, big shout out to Edwin, 11th in the tournament, man, out of 260 players. Did very well. Next up, we're going to look at our Canadian representatives. We have Ernius, 12352. He went 722. He was actually playing Cinderace VMAX. Now, this is something you guys may not see a whole lot, so, we'll run through this list. It's actually pretty simple. It's literally just Cinderace. He's got the 4/4 lineup. He's got 4 Dedennes with 2 Crobats, so plenty of draw search there. You're not running research or anything like that, so the Dedennes probably do come in clutch. This list is a little bit terrifying when you play against ADP, when you have the 4 Dedennes, 2 Crobats and stuff, so that can be a little bit scary. He's got 2 Zigzagoons, 2 Fiones. I don't know about 2 Fiones, but this list is very cool. I think Cinderace can be actually really good. It's kind of been shadowed by Centiskorch in the last few months or so, but came out in Rebel Clash. Still a very good card. I'm going to just zoom in on Cinderace because a lot of people probably aren't super familiar with what this card does. Cinderace, oops, what did I do? Okay, so Cinderace, it's got 2 attacks here. That third one for 3 energy just does 170, and your opponent is now burned. It's not terrible. It's good to 2-hit KO pretty much any Pokemon in the format right now, and I like that for sure. For 3 energy, easy to set up. But I think the main draw for this Pokemon is the counter attack, which is actually very strong on a Pokemon that is 320 HP. So it does 30 plus, however much damage that was done to you last turn by your opponent's Pokemon. If it was damaged by an attack, right? So again, right? If like you can hit pretty hard with this thing. Like let's say you're going against Etern, like Eternatus, if it hits you for 270, right? Like that's pretty hard, and then you add 30 to that, that's 300. You have some Zigzagoons to potentially bring that up to like 310, 320, and that goes for really any deck, right? So a really good revenge attacker. It's honestly not a bad card at all. I think the 320 HP is clutch. I don't know if it's better than Centiskorch, but it definitely is a different it's a different sort of mentality with Welder decks with that revenge attacker, similar to the Reshizard, except it's a little bit better and also has more HP, right? So a little bit safer. And he is running 2 Malalanas in this list, which I think is extremely important for this list. I think Celio was talking about this tournament earlier today, and he talked a little bit about this list, and he also thought that Malalana was really important, and it really is. I mean, for a Pokemon that kind of relies on getting hit before you attack, getting hit by like a Zacian or whatever, then Malalana out, and then go back in and use your revenge attack can be very good, especially in like an ADP, or really any other deck like that. Although the Dedennes do scare me, but 2 Boss, 4 Quick Ball, and 4 Great Ball, which is interesting. 4 Hearth, 1 Crystal, 2 Stamps, and 11 Fire Energy. He's got the 4 Poke Gear as well. I do like gears, especially when you're relying so heavily on the Welders, Lanas, and Boss's Orders, right? You're only running 8 supporters, and those supporters are all very important to your game plan. So I like it. I don't really know why he's running 2 Fion, but that's totally his call. Anyway, Cinderace VMAX. You probably haven't seen too many successful Cinderace VMAX lists, but definitely cool to see. Shout out to Ernius, man, for getting 10th in the tournament with Cinderace VMAX. Super cool. Next up, we have Mad Party at 9th, Lullabar from Canada, bro. He went 9-1-1, 28 points in the tournament. Just bubbled right outside top 8. He didn't bubble, right? But he was the best. Had the best record of people that didn't make top 8 total record. He was playing Mad Party, so this is our highest placing Mad Party in the tournament. With less ADP, I think Mad Party had more free reign to do well. I know he had a really good run in Swiss, so this was his Mad Party list, and this, I guess, is sort of the Mad Party list that a lot of people are playing. It got a lot of hype recently in the last few weeks. It's had some good placements, and I believe there was sort of a collection of really high-level players that really tested and refined Mad Party going in to a few weeks ago into that big regional tournament. And this is what they came up with. I believe that group was like Zach Lesage, Danny Altavilla, Gabe Smart, and a few other players as well that really did a lot of testing with Mad Party. And this is kind of very similar to what they came up with. Of course, you have all the Mad Party Pokemon. You got the Sinistes to get into Poltegeist. Dedennes, of course, discard your Mad Party Pokemon because that's how you do more damage. We got the Oranguru, Crobat. Just everything that you would typically see in Mad Party. We see 4 research, 2 boss. Boss is going to be really important for this list. And we have a Giovanni's Exile, so actually very cool. Discard 2 of your benched Pokemon. It's honestly a really cool card in this deck list. Tons of Pokemon Search, 4 Incense, 4 Quick Ball, 4 Great Ball, and 2 Pokeball. So just a ton of Pokemon Search in this deck. Definitely really important. You want to draw Pokemon as fast as possible. Get them out of your deck as fast as possible, even more so than Eternatus. So Great Catcher, also really good because you do discard cards as well as gust into those benched GX Pokemon. So I like Great Catcher as well. He's got the 1 Radar. Again, you discard cards, so smart in this deck. Grab your Dedennes. Ordinary Rod, of course. definitely makes sense with a deck like this. We get 2 air balloons, give all of your Pokemon free retreat, chaotic swell, and then he's got, of course, the twin and acceleration energy. So very refined Mad Party list. This seems to be the most accepted way to play Mad Party. Again, it might change a little bit in the future. Who knows? When some of these top players get their hands on it some more, they might change it up. But for right now, this seems to be the best way to play Mad Party. Lillabar had a really great run at number 9th in the tournament with Mad Party. So very cool to see. I think with some of these other tournaments that are coming up in January where ADP is banned, then definitely going to be important to just kind of keep Mad Party in mind because it might do really well. It might even win some tournaments. So next up, we're getting into our top 8. 20 minutes in, halfway through. So for sure, we'll take a look at it. Next up is our second highest placing E-turn in the tournament, Kevin Duong. He is from Australia, went 8-3-1, and he is playing Eternatus VMAX. Let's take a look at his list. Could be, so it's Poison Eternatus. I like this. It's kind of a mix, actually. I mean, we have all the poison cards, but we also see the Absol and the Hoopa, which we saw in some of the other sort of disruption versions of Eternatus. He's got only 3 VMAXs with 4 Vs. Again, I like that as well. You're never going to play 4 VMAXs, and even if you have 1 prize, you're probably fine. So I like this Pokemon count a lot. He's got 4 Research, 3 Marnie, 3 Boss. Tons of Pokemon Search in there with stamps, and he's running the Dark City, which, of course, free retreat is very nice in this deck, especially since you need to switch in and out of those Slowbros to get the poison off. Very powerful list. I think poison, the combination between the Toxicroaks and the Slowbro, it's a very powerful way to play Eternatus. Prefer, in my opinion, it's the most powerful E-turn list that we have. Might not be the most consistent, but, that's maybe it is. Who knows? We have 6 basic dark energy, 2 capture, and 2 hiding. I like capture energy in this deck list. Eternatus has a colorless energy in the attack cost, so why not run capture energy since, what we want to do is get those Pokemon on our bench. So totally makes sense. Hiding energy also makes a lot of sense, going along with Dark City to give our Pokemon free retreat as much as possible. So I like this deck list a lot. Pretty standard Poison E-turn list. If you're looking to play Eternatus VMAX, I highly suggest trying out the Poison variant. Has a really good matchup against things like ADP or really any other deck list that might be running like a Big Charm or any other VMAX list that has 320 HP. You can easily, after Poison, get up to that much damage in one attack in one turn. So very powerful deck list. Big shout out to Kevin Duong. I think I actually have a video on Poison E-turn as well if you guys want to go check that one out. It's kind of a while ago, but should be around the same list. Next up, our highest placing ADP in the tournament, Ryan Brunswick, 7th, 8-3-1 from the U.S. Let's take a look at his ADP list, see if there's anything different with it. Any surprises? Nope, just ADP. This one, he's not running Vitality Band, but he is running a Tool Scrapper. I like Tool Scrapper in ADP a lot, actually. He's running 4 Energy Switch with 4 Hammers, 2 Great Catchers, Cherish Ball. So very similar to the other ADP list we saw, a little bit different with its tool card lineup, and just a extra little energy switch in there. Very good ADP list. I think Tool Scrapper is really clutch in ADP these days. Of course, everyone's running Hammers because Hammers makes any deck better at this point, especially in the ADP mirror matchup. So I'm not going to cover it too much. If you're looking to check out ADP list, I have that other video. But big shout out to Ryan Brunswick. I don't want to I did suggest, I kind of made the suggestion not to play ADP, but again, I don't mind at all. It's a good deck. I'm not going to stop people from playing it. It was more so just an experiment, and definitely glad to see somebody make top 8 with ADP. I think no matter what, that makes total sense. Big shout out to Ryan Brunswick, number 7. Next up at number 6, we have Gummy 35. Also went 8-3-1 from the U.S., and he was playing Pikarom, our second highest placing Pika in the tournament. Let's take a look at his list. And it is the exact same 60 as the other one that we saw. So I'm not going to cover it too much. Again, like I said, this seems to be the most accepted Pika list. There might be 1 or 2 cards that are changed around a little bit, but for the most part, this is probably what you should be running when you play Pikarom. To me, this right here, what I'm looking at, is the best deck in the format. So I highly suggest that if you're looking to really take some of these tournaments seriously, you go with this list. It just seems to be absolutely ridiculous. It did win tonight, but it'll probably win sometime this week. Overall, it just seems to be the most consistent, the most powerful list. Big shout out to Gummy, man. Gummy number 6, yeah. So we saw one in top 4. So next up, we have Kaiser Scorch. Kaiser Scorch, of course, an admin in our server. Awesome to see him do well in the tournament. He's from the UK. Got 5th in the tournament, just outside top 4. But he was playing Luke Metal, so we haven't really talked about any Luke Metal yet, but we did have 2 of them that were in the top 5. We had Kaiser, and then we also have Ryan up here. We'll take a look. We'll see if any of these both of these Luke Metal lists are different at all. But yeah, so Kaiser, man, very standard Luke Metal to me. With hammers, he's not running gears, so some people do run gears, I suppose. But yeah, he's got the 4 coating energies. I find that important. 10 metals, 4 saucers, 2 Luke Metals, 2 Zamazentas. He's not teching for Desi, which a lot of times will come back to bite you for the most part. But we didn't really see too much Decidueye in this tournament, right? So not a bad call at all. Other than that, this is a very standard, a very solid Luke Metal list. Jake Gearhart likes to run Pokegears in his ADP list, in his Luke Metal list. Doesn't like hammers, which I understand for sure. But for the most part, I think hammers makes a lot of your matchups a bit more bearable. We got the Scrapper, 4 goggles. Yeah, so I mean, 1 tag call in here makes sense. Malalanas are just super good in this deck. And to me, Luke Metal is definitely one of the best decks in the format. I think it's better than ADP. I think it's better than Eternatus, honestly. And I do find it probably to be our 2nd or 3rd best deck right now in the format. Not as many people run it as ADP or Pikarom or other things, but to me, this is definitely one of our top 3 decks right now in the format. Very powerful, and just sort of has a lot of really good matchups, and the coating energy makes this deck just pushes it over the edge. Big shout out to Kaiser, man. Congratulations for making it that far in the tournament. Big shout out to you as well for, when you put down your real name, when you registered, you put my real name, which is a little weird, but at the same time, it was funny and I laughed. So shout out to Kaiser. Again, I don't even know his full name, so he didn't tell me. I don't know. Okay, next up, number 4, Vitor Lugan from Brazil. Got 4th in the tournament, made top 4 with Pikarom, our best placing Pikarom in the tournament. Vitor Lugan, great online player, places super well in all these tournaments. Okay, so in this list, we see the Vikavolt. Other than that, it's just like the other Pikarom lists that we saw. Again, sometimes you'll see people put in the Yellgrunt. Sometimes you'll see people, put in the Vikavolt in here. Sometimes you'll see people put in like an extra Cherish Ball, whatever it might be. They might make small tweaks, but for the most part, this is Pikarom. Type in the comments below. Do you think that having Vikavolt in this list is better? Or would you not run Vikavolt? For me personally, for a format where ADP is banned or diminished in any sense, where less people are playing ADP, I think Vikavolt's going to be good. I think it helps with a lot of those single prize decks, but like Mad Party or just any other decks. So that's like the first one that comes to mind. It might not even be that good against Mad Party. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, if there's no ADP in the tournament, I think Vikavolt makes sense. If there is ADP in the tournament, I'm not sure it's entirely necessary. ADP kind of gatekeeps most of those decks anyway. But yeah, other than that, totally normal standard ADP list. Sorry, Pikarom list that is extremely powerful and, in my opinion, the best deck in the format. I haven't really made an updated Pikarom list, which I probably should, but we just haven't had one win a normal Chill Series tournament for like a little while now. So, I'll cover it later. But yeah, so Pikarom, man, big shout out to Vitor Lugan. Oops, I got rid of the page. Oh no, hold on, let me just grab it real quick. Hold up. I exited out of the page. Pally. Okay, yeah. All right. Let's get back to it. Sorry about that. We just looked at Vitor Lugan. So now we'll look at Ryan, who got 3rd in the tournament, 9-2-2, playing Luke Metal, our highest placing Luke Metal tonight or Wednesday. And yeah, it's the same exact deck as we just saw. So like I said, that this is the most accepted way to play Luke Metal. Again, there's other ways to play it, like without hammers, like Jake Gearhart does. But other than that, this is just Luke Metal. This is what people play. You might see people play Aegislash. You might see people play Stunfisk in here, just to prep for that Decidueye matchup. But other than that, right, this just is like the 60 that people have probably the most success with and have the most accepted. It's accepted the most, right? So this Luke Metal list, very good. I'm not going to just go over it again, but this is it. Absorb it if you'd missed it last time. Yeah, shout out to Ryan, man. 3rd in the tournament with Luke Metal. Next up, we have Henrique Jorge. I don't think it's pronounced George. I think it's Henrique Jorge. I don't even know, man. He's from Brazil, bro. We had 2 Brazil guys make finals, man. And both of these guys got free entry into the Chill TCG, the GG Tour Chill TCG Cup number 3 coming later this month. So big shout out to him. He was playing Eternatus, and if I remember, this was a Poison Etern list. So not the first time we've seen Etern make finals at the Chill Series. It's a very good deck list. And again, very similar to the last one that we saw, almost identical. In fact, he's not running the Absol. He's running like one extra Krogrunk. But other than that, yeah, the exact same list. So if you're looking to play Eternatus, this seems to be just sort of the most consistently highest placing Eternatus list. And I like it a lot. I think this deck has a bit more of a focus with that extra Krogrunk on poison and getting your poison Pokemon out consistently, and I think that is very important. Lost in finals to a very tough matchup, I think, for him, but overall, he had a fantastic run, and it was just a little bit unfortunate for Henrique to meet up with Bruno playing the deck that he was playing in finals. But Henrique, man, great run. And again, Eternatus is one of the best decks in the format, especially for these like best of one formats, where a lot of times, Etern does pretty well, I think. But I like this list a lot, man. If I'm playing Eternatus, this is what I'm playing, and I like it a lot. So, yeah, absorb it. It's very similar to the last Etern list. Again, feel free to take out and change one or two of these cards and test it out a little bit. But shout out to Henrique, man, made finals. Next up, we have Bruno Arruda. He won the tournament, man. He went all the way. And as you can see, he was playing Excadrill. Very cool deck list. Again, I posted this deck list on Twitter. I posted it some other places. I'm not going to take a look at it for this video, and I apologize. We're going to be making a entirely separate video on this deck list. So you're going to have to wait another day till tomorrow till I upload that video. And I apologize. But again, if you really are just interested, you can just check my Twitter or just go up and my cat's meowing. Go up on Limitless and just take out or take a look at this deck list. So yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. That's gonna do it for the video. I posted the grand finals match, actually the recording of it, where I commentated over it. That's also on the YouTube channel, so if you haven't seen that, I posted it yesterday. Definitely go check it out. Yeah, so that's going to wrap it up. Before you guys go, I want to let you know that on Wednesday is, of course, our next Chill Series tournament, the Chill Series number 15. However, next week's Chill Series is actually going to be a little bit special. It's going to be different. This tournament doesn't have any entry fee on Wednesday. Chill Series 15 is 100% free entry. There will be 300 Vivid Voltage packs in the prize pool, but on top of that, we have $250 US cash, which will be going to our top 8 players. So not only do you have a chance to win, up to $100 cash if you come in first, but you'll also win Vivid Voltage packs up to top 32. And again, the 2 players that make finals will be getting free entry into our regional tournament later this month. So I'll put a link to it down below. If you're watching this video and you're watching this right now, you definitely need to register. This is the biggest Chill Series prize pool, or what probably going to be one of our biggest Chill Series tournaments of all time. So I highly suggest that you go check it out. Go tell your friends. The prize pool is insane. It's going to be a great tournament. ADP's not banned, don't worry. And yeah, so check out the link down below, guys. That's going to wrap it up for the video. Thank you everyone so much for watching these videos. Like the video if you liked it. It's great for the algorithm, great for the channel. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And definitely go register for Chill Series 15. So that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, probably.